Hello and welcome back to the Naren Agarwal show. Viewers, today's episode is going to be one insightful one, and one, if you like having fun, you're in for a treat because I have somebody super fun on board. This guy, I've been following him on Instagram. He is a vlogger, but one who's very raw and authentic without filters. He's just himself, always smiling. He calls himself a Sadhguru volunteer and also a GARYVee fan.
Yeah.
He went out and bought a GARYVee NFT without even knowing what an NFT is.
I know, yeah. I read about it. I did research. Thank you, Anna.
He is also a lawyer. He is also an engineer and psychologist by degree.
No, I'm a lawyer.
Lastly, an important part is that he is somebody who says he's recovered from depression and anxiety. So we'll be getting on to all kinds of conversations. But first, starting off, Vaishu Anna, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm really super happy to be here. And I love your Modi Nehru jacket. now this is political podcast. Now whole controversy.
I wore this bright yellow jacket because of your personality. Your personality is all shining and bright, Anna. That's why.
So what do you call it? Bunky jacket.
We call it Bundy
jacket.
Bundy. Folks, I'm calling him Anna because in where he's from, Kerala, Kochi. And actually, no, it's actually in Kerala. You don't call Anna. Do you have
Cheta.
Cheta is like older brother. Yeah. So Anna is like brother in Tamil.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm calling him, because we have a connect from Tamil Nadu.
We have connect. We have a connect. I don't understand why the ladies also call me Anna. It's so bad, isn't it? It's so bad.
Yeah, that's a default, right? Ladies call you Anna all the time.
It's bad. It's bad. They will also call you also when you go to us.
Are you single, by the way?
Yes, Anna.
Okay, so that's even more disheartening for you when ladies call you Anna or brother. And I want to start off by asking you, one by one, you call yourself a Sadhguru volunteer. Why Sadhguru volunteering? Why you volunteer for Sadhguru? And you create a lot of content around Isha Foundation.
Right.
Sadhguru's gotten a lot of popularity around the world. For those who don't know, Sadhguru is a mystic, visionary, and yogi. So I want to ask you, why are you a Sadhguru volunteer and why do you create Isha content?
Okay. So the main thing is, like, from my childhood only, I wanted to do something for other people. Okay. But I was not such a happy person. Like, I was into depression and anxiety and all that. So I'll tell it in a small before describing it more, because this question is like that. Right. So why Sadhguru volunteering is because it is only after I did Sadhguru's program Inner Engineering, I recovered from all that. And I realized, like, whatever activity, whatever volunteering I do for it, it will take care of that innate need within me, which I had from childhood, that I need to help others. Like, even if it is a simple activity of, just rolling the carpets or putting out something, I know in a macro scale, these micro things I'm doing will have a huge impact on humanity. Because I do not personally consider myself to be able to lead a lot of people, but I'm a good follower. If someone asks me to do something, I can do it. But I have tried to involve in a lot of things to help other people and all. But I realized in the end, it's not good. It's not reaching there. Whatever activity I'm doing, it does not have any kind of impact. But when I volunteer for Isha Foundation, when I volunteer to make Sadhguru's vision happen, because Sadhguru's vision is very all encompassing. It's about, happiness of each individual. Like he says, like, if you want to build a nation, if you want to build a happy and joyful world, you have to start with individual human beings. So volunteering at Isha gives me that fulfillment that whatever activity I'm doing, it is not for me, but it is for someone else. And that is why I involve in whatever way I can. In a nutshell. Yeah.
And I want to dig deeper into what you said, because you said you were somebody who went through depression and anxiety and you recovered from it after Inner Engineering, which is the basic program offered at Isha Foundation, correct?
Right.
I've also taken that program and it's been totally revolutionary for my life in a separate way. But I was not someone who was going through depression and anxiety. I want to ask you, like, a little bit more, like, why did you decide to go for the program? How was it when you were going through depression and anxiety? Was it diagnosed? And then how did taking the program, like, what did it change? Like, a lot of people think stuff like this doesn't work. What worked for you?
Yeah, definitely. So I have been born and brought up, it's born in India, but I've been brought up mostly in Gulf country. We are from Kerala. We go to Gulf. So my dad worked over there. So I was also brought up there. So I had a very good family, good parents, a lot of everything that anyone can ask for, good friends, clothes to wear, everything. But I fell into depression and anxiety like from a very young age, maybe at around 8th standard. It started with simple things like exam stress. Every family, like Indian families have, kids should study and all that thing is there. But I won't tell it was too much and all, because I used to live with my cousin also. He also was put through the same thing, but he didn't develop any anxiety or stress. But I developed it. And first it took me to various counseling and all, but it didn't work. Then finally to a psychiatrist who said, I have a OCD, obsessive compulsive, these thoughts are coming and I need to have psychiatric drugs. So I started off with Prozac. It is one of the most famous medications which is supposed to cure it. So initially when I took it, I felt better, but within 3 months I had a seizure. It is one of the side effects of this medication. But at that time, the doctor said, it might be genetics. It is not because of the medication. But my parents still felt it must be, and I stopped my studies in Qatar and I came back to Kerala, where I joined school over here. But still, because of these medications, it is later I realized that medications have a lot of side effects. I'm not against medication. People need it if they're in case, but people also need to be aware that that these medications have a lot of side effects. Some people even say the side effects are the only effects, and like I'm not a doctor, so I can't say. But from my personal experience, I felt it like that. Like the side effects are kind of like the only effects. So lot of I used to get angry for no reason. I used to feel stressed out. I used to feel depressed. I'm taking a medicine for depression. It should go right. When you're taking a medication for our, let's say we have fever, we take a medication. If the medication says the side effect is that your fever will increase, we won't take it, right?
Correct.
Yeah, but in an antidepressant, if you just type it in Google, if you type it, it says one of the first side effects is these pills can actually increase your depression and anxiety. That's kind of like weird, right?
Huh.
They're the things that I later realized. But at that time I didn't know it, so I was still taking them, and somehow I managed to pass my school. It was a bit hard. Yes, and yeah, so school was also tough, but school I had a lot of good friends, and one thing that helped me during the school time was I used to play involved in a lot of basketball and all that. So physically I was quite active, even though I was a little bit stressed out, depressed. There was a physical aspect which I always like to play. I did not like to study, but I always like to be active. So I think in that case it somehow balanced out.
Correct.
So, and then I went to college, engineering. I did not know what to do. Dad was an engineer. I'm like, Acha, chalo, engineering. It was a management seat that is paid for it, because I just need to pass my entrance exam. So I went there. So again, at that time, I was taking this medication and things were getting hard because I was sitting and sleeping in the class because of the side effects. Like, and when teachers see this, they see this like, this is an arrogant kid. Like, what is he doing?
Yeah, they don't know the backstory. They judge you immediately. They think there's somebody who is not focused, who's wasting their dad's money or mom's money.
Yeah. So that, and I was like, I went to college like, I have new life. I will sit in the front and study. See, sitting in the back and sleeping is one thing. Sitting in the front bench and sleeping is like proper showing. So that happened. So big issues at college. And I was not able to take it. So finally, my aunt and uncle came and they talked to the teachers, like he's having such issues, he's taking this. So then they were a little bit okay. It was at that time that one of the teachers over there suggested there is a psychologist. Why don't you see him? He might be good. So till this time, I've been around like 3-4 years on the psychiatric medications. Like each time some issue comes up, let's say I had a crush in my school. Okay, so sometime some issue come. I can't talk this to my parents, right? So I'll take to the they will take me to the psychiatrist. He'll say this medication, that medication. They won't talk about what is happening in your life or like, is there some? They're just like, okay, this happened. This is this. We'll change the medication.
Correct.
Yeah, they don't take in the human aspect. Yeah. So that is what, when I see all these people going on like, mental health revolution, see psychiatrists, I'm still a bit skeptic about it because I've been through the system. I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but there is no human aspect in the mental health system right now. Everyone says we need to talk, but in the end, you will end up getting a lot of pills. That is what is going to happen.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So then luckily this psychologist was the first person who told us that, you do not need medication. There is some way out of it. We did not believe it because till now all the doctors, like I've seen doctors from NIMHANS, like all the well-reputed doctors would say medication is must. Yeah, medication is needed. This is not like people who have got rank holders and medals from NIMHANS. NIMHANS is the best mental health institute. They tell, there is no way other than medication. You will have to take lifelong medication. And I had reached a phase where I had got 3 seizures. I was told you can't go alone on traveling. You can't go for swimming. You can't ride a bike alone. You can't.
My God.
See, all these things were told to me. So at that age, you're not able to do all these things. Means, like I remember once I was playing basketball. Next second I remember is I'm waking up in a hospital with full-on headache because I just passed out while playing.
So you were literally told that as a college going kid
Yeah.
at that age, you
Yeah.
can't play by yourself alone. You can't travel on a bike alone. You can't travel anywhere alone.
Nothing.
And you've been told that you have to take a lifelong medication by multiple people who are experts in this field.
Yeah, my kind of COVID at that time. Full lockdown, live lockdown. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That
So
sounds very intense.
many people will be able to relate with this because they are going through the same system. That is, I think that is one of the reasons I connect with a lot of people struggling with mental health issues, is because they think that there is a sure short solution.
Huh.
But at the end, this is what is going to happen to most of the people. They will go from one doctor to another doctor without a solution. We want solution, right? We are going through an issue. Everyone wants a solution. No one wants to be depressed and miserable. It's not a good state to be in. We can romanticize it in our movies and all. Depression helps us to build creativity. But at the end of the day, we do not want to be in that state.
So true. So true. It's exactly. Movies and art can romanticize it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the person going through it is the one who's really suffering. Yeah.
Yeah. So like that, this was the first time the doctor told me, the psychologist told me. He also happened to be an immense graduated psychologist. So he's the only one who told, a very nice doctor. His name is Dr. Joseph Isaac, very great guy. So he's the one who told me, like, you do not need medications. And we did not believe because all these doctors told, right? But still, I thought, anyway, my life is screwed up. Let me give chance. Let me try. So anyway, there's nothing else to do. And I just used to go to his therapy. He also gave some relaxation techniques, some, biofeedback techniques and all. And within 3 months, I was tapered of all my medications. And I had kind of like totally recovered, like no more medication. It was a big thing for me, like to be without medications and just looking at life itself was very like great for me.
Wow.
Yeah. So at that time is when I thought, okay, psychology is the thing. Like this is something that I need to do because this is the first thing that has helped me. Okay. So that is when I started researching more about these medications, because till now everyone were telling medicine. So I started like, what is this? So I started reading books about Peter R. Breggin, who is also a psychiatrist. He's one of the psychiatrists from Harvard who actually tells you your psychiatric drug might be the actual problem. He's kind of known as the conscience of American psychiatry. And so I started reading their books and all these alternative things. And that's when I realized, oh, there is something, a different kind of thing happening. So me as an engineer, telling drugs are not won't matter, right? And at that time I was not so open, like I could say I've gone through depression and I've taken drugs, because it's considered a taboo. Parents, marriage and all that stuff. So I was not open about it. So I thought I would become a psychologist, and that's when I went to do my master's in psychology.
So you became passionate about this. You kind of found a little bit of a cure for yourself, and you said, I need to go and do this so that I can help others and get away from the industry of psychological drugs.
Yeah, right.
That is unnecessarily probably being provided according to you, right?
Yeah, it is needed maybe for like very people who are violent, who might hurt people or hurt themselves. Definitely, it has a part to play. But to say that this is the only thing that can, help people with I think it's too overrated. With the kind of side effects I went through, I definitely know it's overrated. But I don't know, like when I was taking the drugs, I was a big thing to everyone that we need to take it. It's like any other medicine. But now at the hindsight, it was not at all needed. As a young kid, I was having exam stress, which would have easily gone if someone would be understanding and, they would tell me something. So maybe even some yoga, if they had done me, it would have something that would have easily passed off. Took so much of my life away from me. So yeah, and it's not easy. It's very rare. Like someone who was taking medicines, they usually end up with a lot of symptoms and end up in mental asylums. I don't know, by some grace, I did not end up. So these things happen. These things definitely happen.
Then you went on to go pursue your degree in psychology, right?
Yes.
This is an MA.
Yes, I'm a psychology. So finally, finally, I'm a mechanical engineer. I've been around men all the time. Finally, in Gujarat. Some ladies. I remember the first day I'm entering the college, men and women are sitting and eating. I'm like, kya ho raha hai idhar? Like, I'm like, women separate, man. So I'm like, yes, finally.
Finally, I get to see some ladies.
So there I reached, and so I was fully passionate that I need to do this. I was studying, but a lot of pretty women, and I fell in love with one of the prettiest women over there. But I was still super confident that psychology is something that can help me. And till now, I was blaming my medication was responsible for all these things. But this relationship did not work out because of family issues and different state and all those things came up. So it did not work out. And again, I went into a relapse. Like all those anxiety and issues started coming back. And this time I could not tell the medicines were the cause. Now I was literally having all those things back, and I knew I couldn't take medicines also because I knew it would worsen the situation. So I was in a different kind of, see, let's say medicines do not work, but when you tell someone that taking medication can help, it's a solace for that person, right? For some time he can think, acha, okay,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like a drug. If you take alcohol for some time, you will feel relaxed.
Correct.
And I'm the kind of person, I have studied so much about it that I can't go that, because I know if I take it. So I was in a different kind of phase where I can't do this, I can't do that. So it was a very kind of hell kind of state for me. That's when I realized, like, there is psychology, there is still more to this. This can't be it. Like, I know about psychology, I know about mind and all, but still it's not working.
Wow.
Yeah. Means one girl losing me, why should I lose my mental health? It's not the end of the world, right? Logically it shouldn't happen like that.
Yeah.
So at that time I was really humbled by life. It took me around 6 months to recover from that. I almost left the college because I couldn't, see her. Whenever she came, I used to get panic attacks and all. So, this is what I want to say. Everyone thinks that only women go through breakup, and I think men also go through a lot. I think it's very underrated in society. I think it's like men are supposed to be strong and all that image is there. So I don't know about other guys, but I think it's hard on men, and I feel a lot of men are also going through it from some of my DMs and all. I see young men, breakups. It's happening. It takes them so hard. So I'm able to really relate with guys who are going through that.
Yeah, I think men are not allowed to, in society in general, men are not like really allowed to express their feminine side, like the vulnerable side in them, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be strong, and you have to be like always this masculine side, and you're not allowed to express. And if you bring forth the feminine, you will be seen as a weaker male.
Yeah.
In society. Yeah.
It is both there in us. Like, that masculine side is there and the feminine side is there. And women confuse us a lot also. They will tell all these things on social media, and then in real life they want something else. It's super confusing. I think it's a harder world for men today. I'm not joking. It really is. Yeah, if you say something, you might be termed a sexist, feminist, when sexist or misogynist, but then you're not. You're just so many things are going on. It's very hard for men. Our laws, everything are like skewed against men now, which I'm seeing it.
Point.
Yeah. In that fight for equality, we have like screwed ourselves up a lot. We need to be super careful, very careful. So
getting back to, so now you went through the breakup and you're like, oh my God, this time the medication is not the reason. This woman leaving me, it has brought back all the painful times within myself, like, in terms of anxiety and stress coming back. So then what?
Then I decided, then at that time, nothing I had to do. Luckily, I developed a fear for women. During that breakup, I couldn't face women after that. Like, this stress came in me. Like, if I see other women, I was getting stressed. I don't know what happened. I couldn't be with women. And that's a very hard phase. You have to be with ladies, and it's a college. You have to interact with women. I was finding it very hard, because there was suddenly a fear of women that came in me. I don't know why it happened. But luckily, there were some awesome friends around me, like some other awesome, beautiful ladies who were around me, who helped me with stuff, who I think, who understood that I was going through. They didn't tell me, but they would involve me in other activities, and slowly I healed. So big shout out to all of them. So they're still in contact with me, very close friends. So like that I healed, but still I realized that there is, something more. But it was at that time I went more into the self-help, trying to be confident, because I started doing more of it. So that's when I started dressing up more. I started buying good clothes for me, because when I recovered, it was such a happy phase for me. Like, suddenly, oh shit, I recovered from this. Finally, I'm out. That I need to treat myself. So I was more into self-help, how to dress well, how to impress people, how to talk correctly, how to groom yourself. I was totally into all of that, how to be like successful in society. And I would say it was working for me also. When I used to dress well, when I used to groom, my people would be all around me. They would want to talk to me. And kind of like, I was not faking it also. I was always like that also. I was always kind of like interactive with people. This just added to it, like dressing well. Like, if you are already a little bit humorous, if you're a little bit nice, and if you also dress well, anyway, people will like you. Let's accept it. That's how society is. We can't dress like a yogi in Himalayas and think people will come to me. Let's accept the fact. So that was kind of good. I was getting all the attention. I was also feeling good. But still, I was humble. I knew somewhere deep within me, like, this shit is also not the real thing. I was like, always, I used to do Akashic Sadhana then. Before getting college, I was like, please God, today, nothing should happen. That's literally how I would enter college. I did not understand it, but I was literally doing the Akashic sadhana then. So college got over. It was fun time. Like the last 1 year was a total blast, because even the breakup actually was good, because that allowed me to understand there is a lot more to, I just became free. I was like, to screw with the studying and all, let me just enjoy. And that college was also super fun, like very chilled out. You don't need to study that much. And the exam, and I am an engineer. At the end of the day, I will study something I can easily pass. So for me, it was quite easy.
Nice.
So that's when, and then I went to take MPhil, because only if you have an MPhil in clinical psychology can you, like, practice, you can become a psychologist. So then I wrote many exams, and finally I got in Amity, Lucknow. And I still remember the day when I got the letter. I was like, I became tensed that I got admission. Like, what? I should be happy. No, this is what I've been looking for so long. But I got stressed out. Like, what am I going to do? Is this what I want to do? And that just spiraled. And again, slowly, it went back to the old, thinking about it. I went back into the old state. And I was like, nothing like a breakup has happened over here. It's just that I wanted something and I got it, and I'm stressed out. So success has made me stressful. In between this, like, I was reading a lot of self-help books also. So Sadhguru's books also I was reading. So yeah, there was one book. By that time when I got admission, I went to Qatar. My dad told, you take a break, come before you join for admission. So I was there chilling out, eating good food and all. But I was stressed out. I was like, day by day, I need to go for admission, and something within me telling that I'm not ready for this. This is not what I want. But I know I have to go, because I left my job. I had done a job in Qatar before psychology. I left that and said, this is my passion. So if you're passionate about something, why should you feel stressed out?
Yeah.
So then I was getting super stressed out. And then I read this book of Sadhguru, like More Than a Life by Subramaniam. And then, like, it's already so much things. Like, I was already open to the idea of Guru and yoga, because I had read a book called Autobiography of Yogi, and I understood that spirituality means. Yeah. How was it for you, Anna? You read it?
Oh, that book. That book is insane. Like, if people read it, they will realize what minuscule, like, I just like wrapped my minuscule logic and put it in the garbage bin after I read that book. Because it just opened up a totally different avenue. And then you see a lot of the things in the book are illogical per se, in double quotes, right? But then you see people like Virat Kohli and Steve Jobs recommending and reading that book. And you realize there is something about that book that just draws people in, and that makes you start looking at life in another way. Like, literally all that book did was, for me, I shut up my stupid, silly logic and put it in the trash can.
Actually, for me, Yogananda Paramsa was the GARYVEE of that time. He actually documented his journey as a seeker in that book.
Wow, yes.
So I see, like, it's the first book that documents the journey of a seeker. Like, and the beauty of that book is it's not about I found my guru, everything became blissed out. No, it's like, even though there are miracles in it, for me, what I connect with that book is, at the end of the line, he will say, even though all these things are happening, my guru would say, your cave is your room in which you would do your Kriya Yoga. So it stuck with me. Okay, there is something like Kriya Yoga. There is something on the spiritual path. It's not simply sitting like that. There needs to be a guru. There is a practice. There is something known as sadhana. So there was this question in me, like, okay, I need this. So I even applied to the Yogananda Paramsa's book and all. I got there. I called their ashram. They said, you need to subscribe to our newsletter and you need to do the practice by reading it. And I tried it, but it was not working for me, because in this world, reading the practice and doing it on ourselves, the ambience is not like that. I was not able to, connect with it, but I would still like pray, Avatar Babaji, please help me. I would literally sit like, help me, like, and I think these are like, even though I might look at it like that, now I can see these were all steps on the path. Like, when I look back at it in hindsight, they were all happening beautifully. And then Sadhguru's books came, I was reading it, and I was reading about Dhyanalinga. I'm like, what is this? Dhyanalinga, consecration, what is this? Like, and I did not know Sadhguru had a YouTube channel and all. I had not watched much of Sadhguru's YouTube or anything. I had the Sadhguru app also. I did not know there is Isha Kriya or Chit. I never knew it. But somehow I was a book reader. I would talk about Sadhguru and people would say he's a Sadhguru, he's a Sadhguru. But I was like, am I? I personally did not connect like that, but people would say, like, is it? But then one night I was sleeping and suddenly kind of Dhyanlinga came in my dream. Okay, for me it was Dhyanlinga. It did not look like Dhyanlinga, but for me it was Dhyanlinga. I was in a dome and I was sitting in Dhyanlinga. I'm like, this is what I need to do. I need to go to Dhyanlinga. My problems will get solved. So I had the conversation with my parents that I had to go to ashram. I'm like, what ashram? For them ashram means, but I said, this is not working for me. I need to go to ashram. I'm just going, I'll come back. It's not that I'm going forever, because their idea means ashram means, you're going, everything. So I called up the ashram. I sent them an email, like, I thought it's a spiritual thing. I need to say some spiritual experience, then only they'll let me in. So I emailed them. I saw the Dhyan Linga in my dream. Please, I need to come there. I did not know that anyone can go to the ashram. So, like, my idea of ashram was, it's like very this thing. And so then I booked it. 3 days I booked room. They just sent me email. You just need to book room and you just come.
Yeah.
So I booked the room. I went there, and in the railway station only, I thought the cab driver would be very spiritual or something. He would pick me, but he was a regular cab driver. He was like, Isha, where are you going? Don't go there. Not nice place. He's telling like that. I'm like, what? What is happening? He's telling me like. So even I reached there also, the ashram, there is check-in, check-out, laptop, computer. I'm like, what? Is this an ashram? Like check-in counters and all. Even in my room, I'm like, mosquito repellent. Yeah, mosquito repellent is there. I'm like, what? They kill mosquitoes? I thought ashram means they won't kill you. So I'm like, very nice, neat and clean rooms. Bathrooms are super clean. I'm like, this is not what I expected.
Yeah.
But I'm like, very good.
Yeah.
But I still not seen the Dhyan Linga. So I'm like, where is Dhyan Linga? Where is Dhyan Linga? So I'm asking people, where is Dhyan Linga? And they showed me like, you can go. I'm like, okay. I went, there's a big shivling. I'm like, oh, okay. I sat, nothing happened. I'm like, what? Nothing's happening. And then I came out. Then next day, someone told me, like, I kept my phone stand all switched off because I really wanted to be like, I really went with the thing that whatever is they will ask me from the ashram, I will do it. Like, I just wanted a solution. So next day morning starts with Guru Puja. I was given this schedule. I would sit there. And that's when it hit me, like near the Surya Kund. This is a place called Surya Kund. You have been there, right?
Yeah, I've been there, but the viewers might
just
not
know.
Yeah,
just for the audience, this Surya Kund where you can take dip, and then on top there are a lot of people doing practices. I was just sat there and like, what is happening over here? That was so intense. Like, people are simply doing yoga. This is the first time I'm seeing yoga happening in a proper way, like closing their eyes, they're sitting there and doing it. And there was some kind of feel to it, like that yoga and the Paramsa tools that were given to me. I had stopped doing it, but I'm like, this much people are doing it, so let me do those practices. So I started doing this. I also wanted to do something, and so many people are doing. And that's when it struck me, there is something to it. And someone told me, take a dip in Surya Kunda and go to Dhyan Linga. So when I took a dip in Surya Kunda, finally I was feeling so relaxed. It was not the Dhyan Linga or the Devi temple, but just the dipping in the Surya Kunda. It was like super relaxing. So every day I would go there 5-6 times. I would just take a dip. I would buy SADHGURU's magazines, like what was that, Forest Flower. I would just read through them. I was just doing that. But one thing that struck me was still no one told me there also that even in the ashram, no one told me there's something known as inner engineering, and it's a tool that can help with depression. It is something for your mind, for your body. No one told me. When I had a friend, Hatha Yoga teacher Jay Krishnan, very dear friend from college. He was Hatha Yoga teacher. He was a follower of Sadhguru like 3-4 years back, but he also didn't tell me inner engineering. I know, because he thought none of us were ready, and I can understand why he didn't talk about it. But when I was in the ashram, he sent me a message like, this is inner engineering program happening in Kochi. Why don't you join that? Wow. I was like, okay, anyway, I'm here, so let me do it. I called them up. I think Pritaka, someone took up and registered. And guess what? And it was just 10 meters away from my home, and I didn't know that. Till now, it was the programs were having 10 meters, and I didn't know such a thing was happening.
Wow.
So yeah. So ashram was good food. A lot of things were settling within me, like my stomach issues and everything. Good ashram food. And at that time, there were mango season. So I was seeing ashram, they're giving mango. At home, we cut mango and eat. No, but here people are just eating. Like, I'm like, wow, super. And I didn't know whether I can take 2. So I used to take only 1. People were taking 3-4, but I was like very nice. And I need not be. So that was happening. And I came back home. At the end, I just ended up doing a lot of shopping in the ashram. I bought Rudraksh, I bought snake ring. I'm like, sab karite. Like copper bottle for mom and uncle and auntie, everything. I'm doing shopping. Because I still was not getting like what Sadhguru was offering over there. I was in the ambience, so some kind of healing was happening definitely, but I did not understand what this is all about.
Tools, the methods. Yeah. That was not in your experience yet.
Yes.
Up until now. Yeah.
So that's when I came back home, and I went for this. I had got arm chanting then in the ashram. I had got initiated, so I would do that regularly. And then I came back home again for the program. I would keep my phone and all at home. I was like, I need to involve in this totally. No phone, nothing. So I would just keep it at home, walk early morning. I would wake up at program starts at 6, no? So first day I went at 5:30. So I reached there, people are standing like this. I entered. A nice ambience. One, I think Swami Nandaka was taking the class. So he just said, I was in search of a guru by then. I needed someone to help me because I realized I am not able to sort my issue. I need external help. I might be very educated. I might be psychological degree. I know all about antidepressants and all that stuff. I know Western medicine, this, that, all that nonsense I know.
Yeah.
Yes, Anna, please.
No, I'm saying you are an engineer. You have an
Yeah.
MA in psychology.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly.
I this is one thing that I have realized about me. Like I bullshit myself a lot, but whenever I realize my bullshit is not working, I accept that very fast. So I accepted fast that okay, this bullshit is not working. Something else is needed. So I sat there and the class Swami said, what is being offered here is what hundreds of years ago, you would have to leave everything and go. And I was in that state where I was ready to leave everything and go for happiness. But even if you leave and go, you might not find a guru. You might die. Let's say the random chance you find a guru, it will take you 12 and a half years. He will put you through all kinds of things before he initiates you. That is what is being offered to you. And I was like, pahunch gaya apun. Apun pahunch gaya. Now nothing. I was like, done. I will do whatever you ask me. Yeah. You tell anything, you tell me to jump out of the window, also I'll do. Whatever. So just 7 days, I just enjoyed it. I was just enjoying the videos. I just, whatever they asked of me, I would involve myself in whichever way. All the things that
you were looking for a solution so deep. It has been with you for years, from school to college, through degree, for MA, through breakups, through exam stress. It's something that's like built within you, the pain. You're looking for a solution intensely. So you're like, I'm going to give myself, huh?
Yeah, I had accepted that this is how I am. Depression is my natural state. Being happy once in a while by random luck, it can happen. It's not sustainable. Yeah. So I thought depression is a natural state and everyone is getting depressed in the world. So I'm also part of that tribe. I had accepted that. So finally it happened, this inner engineering. On the 5th day initiation, people asked me, did you have some blown out experience? I said, no, yeah, my legs went numb, but that is the only experience I had. But I was happy. I was like, chalta hai. Yeah. But on the last day, I think 6th or 7th day, Sadhguru says something like, if you're willing, I'm accessible to you in ways beyond your imagination. Something like that he says. And it just struck me. Like, I was like, this can't be happening. Like within me, something is saying, this man is telling the truth. No one has ever told me something like this so deep. And I know from my logical mind is saying this is not possible, but inside a different aspect is saying, this is the truth. You have landed. And I started just crying. I'm like, why am I crying? It's just happening, like all these years of pain, breakup pain, stress of studies, all these issues it just got washed away at that time. It's like, and I'm a little bit angry also. How can Sadhguru do this? How can he take away simply like that, which I've struggled so long? So that day, like all the pain washed away and I just understood, like I need not do something very big to become happy, because through those 7 days I was just doing some simple things, some pranayama, some talks,
Please go ahead. I'm just like, that was an insight for me, like, we're looking for big things, to do big things, to accomplish big things, to be happy. But so like the 7 days you're doing simple things and simple things that Guru were talking about. This is how mind works, this is how food is, this is how that is. But I understood the importance of truth. Like whatever Sadhguru was saying, that is how existence is. He was just talking about the truth, but he was just making it contemporary in the way I wanted. I had so many questions, and whenever I would ask someone, they would all talk about research, this, that. And Sadhguru was putting it so easily by asking, isn't it so? And I'm like, yeah, it is. Why couldn't I figure this shit out myself? Like he was making life very easy for me. And I understood I am just complicating it. So in these 7 days, I just allowed myself to be there, to be in his words, in truth. And it naturally made me joyful and happy. I realized like being happy and joyful is not such a big thing. It is actually very easy to achieve. And I have been complicating it. So that day I sat at home and I was eating this food and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. And at that time, my brother was getting, married. So I'm his very close cousin, is my cousin. We've been like buddies, like chaddi buddies, whatever we call it. So I am supposed to, take care of his wedding. I've invited so many of my friends from North India, 30, 40 people. And if I am stressed, how would I conduct it? But after inner engineering, I'm like, it's okay.
I can do anything. I can do anything. Even my friends who had invited, they're calling me and telling, we can't come here. We are a little busy. And earlier me would have got stressed out. Like, why are you not coming? I had arranged rooms. I had booked this. Now I have to cancel. I'm like, oh, is it? No problem. It's okay. No worries. I'm very chilled out. I'm like, no problem. No problem. I can understand. You might be busy. I was super chilled out. So it went super smooth. I enjoyed that marriage just because I was happy. I realized nothing had happened. It was the same me. The marriage was the same. Inner me became happy. So I was able to enjoy the marriage. I was able to involve with people. I was able to involve with everything. So when Sadhguru says you have to be happy first before working out in the world, I literally understood that from my experience. It was a real life experience for me. Like, these tools work. This is something that the world needs. I understood at that day. So at that time, before only I had started, YouTube and all. So I was putting videos on mental health and all this stuff. And then I typed, I'm a big fan of, I follow Alpha Man, Real Style and all for, these things and all. So whatever products, I used to type review and all. So when I typed inner engineering review, I thought many videos will be there, but nothing was there. It was only a guy walking in Himalayas and inner engineering. I'm like, okay, if I see this video, I'm not going to do inner engineering. So I thought, I'm watching so many good content creators. I love Alpha M and Real Men Real Style. They are men's content creators about style. One thing I like about them is they are very genuine. Even though they promote buying clothes and all, they're very genuine. They tell people like, you should not buy if you cannot afford. You should only buy it in your budget. And they're very genuine about their stories and all. So I wanted something like that. I understood like only if I'm genuine, people will connect because I'm connecting with them like that. So for me, that was very important. So I started, putting out the inner engineering review. I did not try to put it out as a video like inner engineering is the best thing in the world. No, I just said like, this is my experience. I went it because I was feeling a little stressed out. I was not very honest about my depression and anxiety.
Correct.
Because till then, that time also, I did, I was with my family, taboo and all. But that was also an excuse. And then I went to Lucknow for my MPhil. I was very stressed out for MPhil also, but now I'm like, chalta hai, MPhil, karte, kya baat hai. A lot of pretty ladies in Amity also, Lucknow, good college. But in middle of that, lap of the master happened. I came back from like I did not want to go for lap of the master. I was like very happy. Like for me, Sadhguru is real. I did not want to see him also. I'm like, tool is there. I'm happy. But when Somnath Anna is there, he is like our local center. He's like, lap of the master, you're not coming? Come, Isha. I'm like, okay, I'll come. So I booked ticket from Lucknow and I came. People ask me, how did you feel when you see Sadhguru? I'm like, I saw Sadhguru from good, nice. That was my only feel. Okay, very
Lap
nice.
of the Master is like a 2-day program that happens during the month of around July during the Guru Purnima at the Isha Yoga Center, where seekers come and meet Sadhguru, people who have been initiated into inner engineering. For those who are wondering,
yeah, awesome. So at that time, I was sitting there and someone asked Sadhguru like, Sadhguru, you have given me my life back, something like that. I have so much gratitude for you. How can I express it back? How can I give back something to you? He asked. Suddenly I was like, oh, I also have this question. I did not know I had that question then. But when he asked, I'm like, yeah, if I wanted to ask something, I would have asked this. I was just waiting, what did Sadhguru answer? So Sadhguru was like, see, I'm not someone who wants your gratitude or anything. If something like that is there, let it be within you and let it burn you. It should burn you that, you feel very this thing. Because I do not want your gratitude or anything. And then he said, after that, he said, see, it was 2018. In the next 2 years, things are going to just boom. And we need your help. If you have some time, 5 minutes or whatever time you have, this is the year that things are going to happen. You volunteer in whatever way you can. I'm like, this just stuck with me. I'm like, I know this saved my life. What am I doing here? What am I learning psychology for? So again, this conflict started. Should I leave? Should I, slowly? And I could not sit for my psychology. Like I was going there. Even when I went to the hospital, I was seeing the same thing happening with those people that happened with me. When I used to go to a mental health hospital, people with issues, people who have been, going through sexual abuse or rape, they've been given medications. Going through sexual abuse, rape, and it's very hard. People are just giving them electric shock and medications and all, and I could not just be with it. I could not just diagnose them with depression, OCD, or schizophrenia or whatever it is. I just could not see it. Even the ambience of being in a mental health asylum, it makes you depressed. Even if you're a very positive person, if you go into an ambience where it's very dark, closed doors, no proper ventilation, you become depressed. And in top of that, people with so much issues, they're coming over there.
So true.
They become, yeah. So I just couldn't be there. Like Firstly, there is nothing that I could offer to them. Like one thing I tried to do was I got trained in yoga vida training yoga. So one day I took a yoga class because that's the least thing I could do. So I think that day they felt a little bit more happy, something was happening other than just sitting over there. So, but I understood that this is what I wanted to do more. So I called my parents and said, I am leaving. And it was big boom. Leaving? What is this? But I had decided I'm gonna drive Uber, but I want to volunteer for inner engineering because that is the only thing. It was not about YouTube. For me, inner engineering, in whatever way, I'll roll mat over there. I would do whatever over there. I just need to do that. This is the only thing I want to do in life. So I decided and I came back. So at that time, one Akka told me like rally for reverse Kaveri calling is happening. Why don't you become a volunteer for that? I applied for that also. But at the end stage, I did not get in because, I had this history of depression and all that. So the medical, I couldn't come. And when I did that, I was like, why didn't I get in? I was a bit sad because rally for reverse 3 years, I could be in ashram. But why they didn't give me? I was a bit sad. But then Sadhguru again, Sadhguru says, if life doesn't happen the way you want, it's awesome. That means something better. Like universe has other plans. Why do you want you to happen? If life doesn't happen the way you want, that is the best thing. So I went, okay, it took me one day. It's not like immediately, oh, Sadhguru said this, so okay, that is the truth. It's not like that. It took me a while to, get. But now when I look back at it, I started putting out more content, posts, videos. It started connecting with people. Before leaving the MPhil, I honestly put out a video why I went into inner engineering, like my anxiety, taking psychiatric drugs. And that's the one video that connected with a lot of people. Like what I see is most people, they reach a place of success, like big celebrities, and then they talk about their depression, their anxiety. So even when I talk to my parents, I need to put this, they're like, you are nobody, you can't put, if you put it, it's just like that. But for me, I'm a nobody, and that is whom I want to connect with. I want to connect with regular people. I want to connect with people like me. I don't want to connect with celebrities. They already have a lot of support system and everything. I want to connect with people, guys like me who are struggling, guys and girls like me who are struggling, who do not know what is true, what is happening, is there a way? So I put out that video and from then the content journey has just evolved, and GARYVEE happened, and then it just took a skyrocket.
How long has it been since you did your inner engineering?
It's May. This is, I started inner engineering May 17th or 18th, 2018. So it's exactly now 3 years.
Exactly 3 years.
3 years, yeah. I've started reading the inner engineering book because there is no volunteering activity. So I'm just refreshing by reading the inner engineering book right now.
Wow. And in the past 3 years, of course, being initiated into the practice is one thing, but have you been continuing your practice? And I think that's what really grows, right? Initiation is kind of like the seed. But what would you say is the importance of continuing the practice? Because a lot of people think that you just go to an ashram and your solutions will be fixed, or you just do the course and the solution will be fixed. But what is the importance of continuing the practice and actually the practice that grows within you?
It is super important because once I feel this from experience, like Sadhguru says, like on a spiritual path, life will be in a fast forward. I'm like, what is this fast forward? But it literally is like on the spiritual path, like even when I've seen, like initially it was all about happiness when I got initiated, but as I kept up the practices, a lot of my older issues also started popping up. I'm like, what? I'm doing these practices, why it's still coming? But it is essential to understand, like since you are on a fast ride, happiness, sadness, everything will come. And if you just keep up the practices, it will just settle down. Because most of the time, if I had not been on this path, depression, it would have just gone 10 years like that, and to enter into the next state, one lifetime would have gotten over. But now everything is happening super fast. So keeping up the practices is the main thing. It is like the one important thing. I've seen a lot of people who have been initiated into Shambhavi, and they have had intense experiences, like super, but then they just drop the practice. But I have seen people who do not have big experiences, but they have just kept up the practices and they have blown up. So it is all, it's the same thing that is happening in inner engineering, but everyone receives it differently. I understood that later. Initially when I was doing inner engineering videos, I was like, this gives you happiness, this solves all your issues. And my reviews were all like that. But slowly, as I started interacting with more people, there was this one interview with one, on the video, I was like, it's very good, I'm happy, I'm joyful, Angamardana, this, that. When I ended the video, it's like, I feel like running away from the ashram. I'm not feeling so good over here. Practice are not working. I'm like, what is this? So that's when I realized, okay, there is more to it. Like people are going through different kind of things, even with spiritual practices. That's when I slowly evolved my content, and because I wanted to remain genuine. That's when even when I take my podcast, I tell people, see, it's not about promoting yoga or anything. You are free to tell, even if you didn't like inner engineering, please say that. Like if you found it not useful, just say that. It's okay. It's not, we don't want to promote this, because everywhere, everyone is bombarding people with promotions. And people people want to know the real thing. So let's give them that. Let's give them the real stuff. Nowhere has Sadhguru told us, you go out there and promote inner engineer. Volunteers, come on, promote inner engineer. No, he hasn't said that. You're just asked to share our experience. If you feel something has touched you, you can share it with people and share it honestly and genuinely.
Yeah.
So I realized I need to do it like that, and that has connected with a lot of people. People connect with that, and that is why also, like, you introduced me as raw content, right? A lot of people tell me improve the quality, like, why don't you edit it? Yes, one thing is I do not know that much editing, to be very honest. And another thing, purposefully I do not try to learn all, because I think I can learn editing, and it's not such a big skill, or you can hire someone who can do it. But I personally don't do it is because I want it to remain raw. I want people to see like the raw version, and I also want to inspire people to create raw content.
I love it.
Yeah, because it's if because everyone are running behind that followers, the number of views and all those things, that they are not putting out. Many people are so happy and joyful. Isha meditators in general are very happy and joyful, and if they put out content, the social media will become a good space, because when the more joyful content is out there, it becomes more joyful. Right now, all idiots and stupid people are putting all kind of nonsense. So it's a bad thing, and we keep on complaining that it's all bad, all bullshit. But if you're not putting out content, then you have no right to keep on telling it's bad. If you have a phone, you have internet, Jio has given free internet, no cost, nothing. Why don't you put out? If you have something good to share, why don't you just take your camera? You can write a blog. It's there within you. So if you're not doing it, don't sit somewhere and complain like the internet is bad, social media is bad, it's addictive, and all that nonsense. You are not doing means you are also responsible for it. It's becoming like that. So that is why I put out raw content, so that people see that this is also a way of putting out content. So that is how it is happening. And for me, for that I have to say GaryVee. Gary is the one who inspired me, and because I was putting out raw content, but I was not sure whether it was the right way. But when I came across GaryVee, I understood, okay, this is how it needs to be done in a right way. Like, this is also a beautiful way to build a community and to connect with people. So yeah.
Awesome. I was going to ask you, like, so one big influencer in your life has been Sadhguru and his practice, and then GaryVee.
Yeah.
So what are your main learnings from GaryVee, and why are you such a big GaryVee fan?
I'm a big GaryVee fan is because for me, making inner engineering, it's my primary aim is inner engineering, and these tools needs to reach people in the right way. It's not just need to reach people. It needs to reach people in the right way. So I don't want to force people to do inner engineering. Like, when they're in that state of receptivity, it should reach them. And when they see my content, they should feel, okay, this guy is saying something and there must be something to it. So social media seems a bit very complicated. Like, how do you get all this? How to post and all that? That's when I came across GaryVee. It's a simple thing that connected me with him. There is two things that everyone goes behind that quality of that content. Like, quality has to be good. Most people I've seen, they want to become YouTubers, they want to post on Instagram. But what they do is they take a video, they take something, and they end up watching and they think, oh, the quality is not good. I'm not going to post it. And one thing GaryVee, this just struck me, like GaryVee has that, just like Sadhguru talks about life very clearly. For me, GaryVee is the Sadhguru of social media. He thinks clearly on how it works on social media. So just quality is very subjective. It's a very subjective thing. What I think is super quality, you might hate it. What you might think is the best quality, I might not even like it. So, but quantity is not subjective. If you post 2 videos in a day, it is 2 videos. I will also say it's 2 videos. You will also say it's 2 videos. Anyone in the world, we cannot say it's 10 videos, right? Since you have posted 2 videos. So quantity is the only thing we have control over. Wow. Quality is very subjective. So he says, you post content, let the consumer decide. Why should you decide the quality? Let the consumer decide whether they want to watch it or not. Let the marketplace decide. And I've seen a lot of interviews with Sadhguru, where this one guy, he was a TikTok star. He came to GaryVee at the tea with GaryVee, showing that he just thanked GaryVee, saying, I made a TikTok video and I thought this is not good quality. But I remembered your advice, like, don't worry about the quality, you just post it. And he posted that, and that went viral. That is the one that made him a TikTok star.
Wow.
The content he thought would not work was the one that actually worked.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think for so many people, this reminds me of something I call perfectionism. I read this book by John Aker, Finnish, and he talks about we have this disease of perfectionism. We want everything perfect. We want to wait for all the lights to turn green.
Right.
But there is no time when all the lights will be green.
Right.
If you wait for all the lights to be green, you will never start. You will never go on the journey.
Yeah.
So I really love what you said, that if you just drop perfectionism and just worry about taking one step after the other, just progress, automatically also the quality will increase.
Yeah.
Quality cannot come without quantity.
Yeah.
Because only when you go through that feedback loop can your quality also increase. So it's amazing what you said, Anna. That's a great lesson from GARYVEE, and it can be applied to even general areas of life, right? Let's say starting yoga or doing inner engineering.
Right.
People like, hey, go attend inner engineering. They're saying, no, right now business is stressed. This is stressful. This is stressful.
Right.
I'm going to wait for the perfect moment.
Right. True.
To go and do the course. When I have no stress, I'm like, no, you need the course because you have so much stress. Right?
Yeah. And COVID happened. The right time will never come. People wait. See, now everyone who said they do not have time, they're all stuck at home. Time is there, but now the course is not there. It's offline. Online we have, I'm just kidding. But see, everyone wants to do it online. There were some people actually, I will go to the ashram and only do it. When my job, I get leave, and I leave. Now when everything is there, ashram is closed. So everyone waits for that perfect moment, but that never comes.
Perfectionism is not real. You just got to make videos and post it like Vaishwanna.
It's like this one super thing that Gary said, micro speed and macro patience. Everyone goes for like, he says like you have to be super fast in the micro, like on a day-to-day stuff. If people look at me, I'm posting videos, I'm replying to comments, this. But for me, inside me, I'm like 20 years. It's going to take 15 to 20 years of posting. Most what happens is everyone, when they start, they're like, go. No views are coming. Oh, this is not working. Within 2 to 3 months, they will drop it. Because they might see one creator who might have posted 2 to 3 videos and he might have gone viral and he has got lakhs of subscribers. And they want that. Right.
That's amazing. I remember a rap by this guy called Big Sean, and in one of the songs he says, I guess it took me 10 years to become an overnight success. People don't look at all the 10 years that you've put in.
Right. And
people start calling him an overnight success, but he says, I guess it took me 10 years to become an overnight success.
Perfect. Yeah.
So cool. And I think I agree with you so much, because I'm also a content creator myself. And honestly, my channel hasn't moved too much since this time I started, like about 1.5 years ago. We maybe on Instagram gained less than 1,000 followers so far. And like, it's not even a number that I'm so up to date with. But like, I so agree with what exactly GARYVEE says. I think I just framed the formula in another way in my head, that impatience with action, but patience with results. So absolutely being impatient with action. When you go ahead, do.
Right. That's
results. Being patient. So like, I love what you said. Micro
speed
and macro
patience.
Yeah. Wow.
It's exactly the same thing. You paraphrased it in your own way. Same thing. Like GARYVEE said, you have your own thing. It's the same thing, but that works. That will work if you're just putting out. For me, it's all about adding value, like answering people queries. Like over a period of time, I've been so regular. I don't struggle for content because I read the comments, I read the DMs, and I understand what people need. I can get a feel of the crowd just from my DMs. And we are living in a social media world where we can scale the unscalable. Gary puts it, we all want a customer, when we call the customer care, we want someone who answers to us nicely, who takes care of our need. So when you are on social media, when you are adding value, you have that opportunity. When a person messages you, you have that opportunity to talk to him. You have the opportunity to clear his need. Because one thing I realized in my is even when people want to do inner engineering, there are so many layers of friction. They do not know there's an online program. They do not know how to register for it. They do not know there's an offline program. They do not know there's a completion program. They do not know inner engineering is needed for volunteering. So I try to remove all that friction. When someone messages me like how to do it, I tell them this is how we do it. And I do not send them to somewhere else, talk to him. I send them the links, I guide them. So on a person-to-person basis, I interact with them. So that builds that connection with them. So I'm that guy, like a friend they see who, answers to them. And social media is that powerful tool that has allowed me to scale that unscalable thing, because earlier this thing wouldn't be possible. Now it's free. It's free. Anyone can do it.
Wow. I love this. I love this. What's amazing about your journey, Anna, is that you went through years and years of struggle. You found a solution. It's been there with you for 3 years, and you decided to make this a full-time thing. You self-appointed yourself as a volunteer, and you're just doing this to help people out in your experience. I mean, I'm somebody who has gone through inner engineering myself, and I mean, it's going to be a whole another conversation if we talk about.
I've been in Tennessee. Give us a bit of Tennessee.
Yeah, I did end up spending 6 months about at the US ashram in Tennessee as well with Isha Foundation. So much to share, so much to share. But all I can say in this short while, because I want this episode to be about you and your journey, is that it has fundamentally transformed the way I look at life, fundamentally transformed me in body, mind, spirit, whatever you say. I mean, literally in body too. Since I did my inner engineering, I got into yoga. I dropped about 25 kilograms of weight. I used to be this like big guy with a lot of fat on my body, and now
right.
I lost 25 kilograms.
Now you are in Bundy. So now you can wear Bundy.
Yeah. So it's really been transformational in so ways. So it's amazing that you came here, shared your journey with us, shared your learnings. You were so candid and so open about your anxiety, stress, and everything. And I'm so grateful for your sharing. I'm sure a lot of people will be inspired and will be able to relate to you on so many levels.
Thank you, Anna. And just want to promote my NFT, Cheerful Chipmunk.
You got an NFT, right? Okay, what are NFTs? Let me test you.
I was just promoting myself. It is the future. It is Web 3.0. I made an investment in Web 3.0, and I was just promoting myself so that I can say in 10 years, I can take this video and see I was already bought NFT.
Yeah.
You losers, from 10 years, you didn't buy an NFT of GARYVee. This I will clip it and put it on my Instagram after 10 years.
So folks, those of you don't know, Gary Vaynerchuk, a famous social media celebrity, he created his own platform where he's selling NFT, non-fungible tokens on a platform called VFriends. Anna, right here, Veshu Anna, is the owner of one of the thousands NFTs called Cheerful Chipmunk. He has it, he outlines it. You got to check his Instagram out. We'll post it in the comments and stuff in the description below. Go check out the Cheerful Chipmunk that is owned exclusively by Vaishu Anna. Amazing. Anna, so happy to talk to you. Much love to you. Cheers. Thank you. Keep spreading positivity.
Thank you, Anna. It's been great for sharing with you, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Anna.